Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Tassos Kalimos. Happy to join you guys for another edition of NBA Player Prop Parlay right here, the Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your week so far. We are coming off a winning night last night. That is correct. We cashed. Cash money, baby. We won last night. Now, to be fair, one of the three legs did get voided. Pascal Siakam did not play yesterday. However, the other two legs did hit. So it was supposed to be a plus 435 parlay. Gets knocked down to a plus 218. So obviously not as big of a hit, but a hit nonetheless. Up 2.1 units yesterday. Not half bad. Let's keep the momentum rolling. Let's come back into today. Let's get another win and build on a winning performance yesterday. Also, real quick, shout out to the GOAT. Just announced this morning that Bill Belichick is not coming back to New England. How to rep the shirt. I know it's the basketball video, but you got to pay respect to the GOAT. We are in New England here. But new day, new NBA parlay. Let's dive right in. Make sure, guys, to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and we are less than 2,500 away from hitting our goal. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 50,000. I have a three-leg parlay, another three-leg parlay today. Hopefully this one actually stays at three legs. But a three-leg parlay to share with you guys. As always, I use DraftKings as my sportsbook of choice. All right, guys, so starting off the first leg of our three-leg parlay, we are targeting the Portland Trailblazers Oklahoma City Thunder game, which kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are going with Chet Holmgren over 17.5 points plus assists, all reliable. This is a prop that consistently keeps hitting. Let's jump over to the Outlier screen so I can show you what I'm talking about. If you don't know what Outlier is, guys, Outlier is the official sponsor of today's video and all of my player prop videos. They are the best sports betting tool on the market. And as you're going to see in this video, there's so many analytics, so much data, so much stuff in here that can help you properly place your prop bets. A lot of P's there. There is a special link in our description below. You get a 7-day free trial. When you use that link, I guarantee you guys, you will not regret it. This is truthfully the best sports betting tool on the market. I use it for all my props, all my bets. It's fantastic. It gives you tons of insight and all the information that you need to properly place your bets. So, starting off first leg here, we got Chet Holmgren over 17.5 points plus assists. You get this at minus 195 odds on DraftKings. And like I said, he's hit this consistently. 9 of his last 10 games, he has hit this number. The only time he didn't hit it was on January 3rd against Atlanta. And if you scroll down here, the reason why, he only played about 24, just shy of 25 minutes in that game. So that's why he didn't hit it, but he has been on a hot streak of hitting this. And if you look at the season as a whole, the 2023 season in entirety, he's hitting it at a 69% nice hit rate. 25 out of 36 games, really solid number. But again, if you look at just this streak, you go to his last 20 games, 80% hit rate. 16 out of 20 games, his last 20 games, he is hitting this number. And it makes sense. Look, this is technically Chet Holmgren's rookie season. I know he was drafted last year, but this is his rookie year, and he's just getting comfortable. And that's what you're starting to see here these last 20 games. He's starting to get comfortable. He's starting to develop himself into one of the best young players in the league. He's the front runner for Rookie of the Year. I think he will definitely win Rookie of the Year. But yeah, he has been on a real tear of late. They just played last night. He had 23 points and 2 assists against Miami, which is not the easiest defensive matchup, but yeah, he came up, he showed up. So I really like this spot here for Chet Holmgren. And if you look at Portland, look, defensively, they're not great. They're middle of the road, but it is worth noting that DeAndre Ayton is out. He is not going to play tonight for Portland. I should say he's a game time decision. There's no guarantee he's not going to play. I probably should have rephrased that. But he is right now listed as questionable. I've been reading some stuff. It looks like he's probably not going to play, but I could be wrong. Either way, though, they are middle of the road here against the center position. 15th in points allowed, 14th in assists allowed, and overall, they're a middle of the road defensive team. So not a bad defensive matchup, not a great defensive matchup for Chet Holmgren here. One more stat to share with you guys on this prop, though. If you look here, this is one of the cool features of Outlier. You can filter results. You can look for specific situations, specific instances to try and figure out what you want to bet. So this filter I put in right now is for home games only. Chet Holmgren is hitting this number at home in 84% of his games this season, 16 out of 19 home games. And you look at here, he has not... He's covered this every home game since November 14th. November 14th versus San Antonio was the last home game that he failed to cover this over. So when he's at home, he's hitting this at an 84% rate. So I love this prop. Chet Holmgren over 17.5 points. Lock it in. All right, guys, moving on to the second leg of our three-leg parlay. We are targeting the Knicks-Mavs game, which kicks off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We are going with Dante DiVincenzo of the New York Knicks over 11.5 points plus assists. I think I took this prop. It wasn't this exact line, but this same prop on a parlay last week, and it did hit. He's been playing really well of late. 8 of his last 10 games, he has hit this over of 11.5 points plus assists. He's been playing very well for the Knicks of late. And look at the 2023 season as a whole, 51%, not as great when you look at the entire season, but again, the last 10 games is where we're really like to see. 8 of his last 10 games, he has hit this over, which is really good for us. Interestingly enough, he's actually hitting this at a slightly higher rate on the road this season. He's hitting this in 55% of his road games, 12 out of 22. So he's actually playing a little better on the road than he is at home. Now, I don't really have any head-to-head data for this one, but if you go ahead over here and look at the defensive matchup, the Dallas Mavericks are one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA versus the shooting guard position. They are bottom 3 in points allowed to shooting guards, and they are bottom 10 in assists allowed to shooting guards. So a very good defensive matchup for DiVincenzo. I really like the spot here for our second leg of our 3-leg parlay. And for the third and final leg of today's parlay, we are targeting the man who has been in the headlines lately with all the drama in Phoenix. We're targeting the Suns-Lakers game. We're going with Kevin Durant over 37.5 points, rebounds, plus assists. You get this at minus 125 odds. Truthfully, I was going to take an alternate line and push this down even farther, but I think Durant's going to have a really big game. He's just this kind of player that when the national media is kind of against him and all this stuff happens, he just responds and has a big game, and I can see that happening. He has covered this in 7 of his last 10 games, including 3 straight, and most importantly, if you look at the head-to-head, he's been covering this at a really high rate versus the Lakers. Each of the last 3 times that Phoenix has faced the Lakers, which, by the way, are all this season, October of this year, November of this season, and December of this season, he has covered this number. All 3 times the Suns and Lakers have faced off this year, he hasn't just hit this number, he's crushed through it. The first 2 times they played this year, 52-52. He had 42 the last time they played. So he crushes this number versus the Lakers. And honestly, when you look at the 2023 season as a whole, he's hitting it at a 70% rate. 21 out of 30 games that he has played in this season for the Suns, he is hitting this over. And if you look here, he's only played 6 times this season with both Booker and Beal on the court. They're all 3 are projected to play tonight. He's hitting this in 4 out of the 6 games that the trio has been on the court together. So that part is one of the things where you look at where it's like, well, will Bradley Beal playing disrupt this? Not really. He's still hitting this in at a 67% rate when those 2 play with him. And when you look at the defensive matchup, the Lakers right now, they are kind of middle of the road in all defensive stats against the small forward position. You see they're 18th in points allowed, 17th in rebounds allowed, and 15th in assists allowed. Overall, the Lakers are bottom 10 in rebounds allowed, bottom 10 in assists allowed, and right in the middle, right about the middle average in points allowed. So not a great defensive team, so a solid matchup here. Again, Durant has covered this each of the 3 times that he has faced off with the Lakers this year. So that is the third and final leg of today's parlay. So if you look over here on the right side of the screen to today's tickets, if you parlay all 3 of these props together, you get a parlay of plus 283 odds. Now, I do want to say, and I've said this before in my videos, guys, the intention is that you're going to bet all these props together in a parlay, but I am not offended if you decide to pick and choose like an all-you-can-eat buffet and pick and choose which props you like, and you can put them in a different parlay or just bet the props straight up, whatever you prefer. Again, the intention of these videos is that you're going to parlay these props together, but I'm not offended if you take what you want. The goal at the end of the day is to help you guys win some money, to give you guys some picks. So if even one prop helps you win your parlay or win you some money and not all 3, perfectly okay with it. But here are the 3 legs. When you parlay them all together, you get a parlay of plus 283 odds, not half bad. The only parlay that is so 2 out of 3 parlays, excuse me, a little tongue twisted there. 2 out of 3 parlays, you're only going to find them on DraftKings. The Dante DiVincenzo prop and the Chet Holmgren prop, you're only going to find those 2 on DraftKings. The Kevin Durant one, you will be able to find it on Caesars at minus 129 and BetMGM minus 125. So actually a little better value if you bet on those sportsbook for this prop. But again, the other 2 are exclusive to DraftKings. I'm sure if you go ahead, and I've said this before in videos, if you go ahead and filter it and you up the line, like if Chet Holmgren, you push it up to 19.5, I'm sure you can find it on other sportsbooks. But that, guys, is it for today's parlay. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, sound off in the comments below. Make sure to comment if you're riding. If you're not, comment fade me if you're fading. But that is it, guys. Until next time, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Thursday.